Guys, well, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about this telescoping die holder. Now, why would one need a telescoping die holder? Well, you know what you can do is put the die up against the chuck, and then just bring it in and tighten it in. But I don't like, especially on the smaller ones, pushing up against the chuck. I don't know, it's just a personal thing. So, what I wanted was something that will hold the die central and it will be telescoping. So, just a disclaimer here, this is not my design. This was actually from Blondie Hacks, and she did. Oh, I see there's a bit of uh, clean that out a little. So this was sort of a design she came up with, and it's on a video, and I quite liked it because a lot of them have got, all sorts of slides here and that. And personally, I'm just doing small stuff, so I quite like to turn it by hand a little bit, because if you're going a little bit, instead of just jamming the whole thing, you're going to get a cleaner thread as far as I'm concerned. So this is it. Now I'm sitting in a bit of a conundrum because I need a bar to go in there and to turn it. Now I've got the bar, I've made it, and it's got a little lump on the end, and I want a thread so you can take it out and, whatever you need to do. Um, so I need to thread the one side, and to thread the one side, I need to have a die holder. I had the same problem with this little screw here when I was making it. So basically, I'm going to make a plan for now, and then we're going to finish it. So how it works, it's very simple. Your base, so this is 12, and that's 13. So it's not going to go all the way in. It's a relatively snug fit there. There's a little bit of play, but nothing too bad. So your back bit goes in there, and I have used this now once, like I said, to make this, but I just put another screw in. But I don't like having tools for tools for tools, if you know what I mean. So why do you have a screwdriver or Allen key or anything? It doesn't need to be super tight. You just a little knurled bolt that I've got in there, and I've cut a small line to mark. And what we do here is the die fits quite snug, and they only have one hole. So what I want to do is just line it up with that, drop it in, and tighten it up. Now, for the end, I'm going to decide on the M6 1.0. There's no particular reason. And I have checked the diameter. Should be 4.9, and I think I'm probably 5.9 for an M6. So I've got 5.92. I don't like using this; very expensive. So I like to keep it there, not while I'm machining. It's going to get full of chips and everything. I rebuilt this teaser, and I quite like its action, and so I'm very happy with that. Very repetitive, very smooth, and we are also getting a little over or 5.93, and so that's golden. So that is ready to go in here. Um, we can chuck it up and then just cut a little bit of a thread so I can make a nut for the back. That's probably a little bit too much stick out, but it's not the end of the world. So what we're going to do here, first off, is just give it a little bit of an angle on the edge there, and I'm just going to whack it just to, let's say 30 degrees. That's good enough for me. Now I cannot go too deep here because I don't want a massive nut. As it is, I'm going to have to chop up a tap. I've got two taps, and the one is a sort of medium, and then the one is a starter. and the starter is just too tapered to use on this. I only want a very, very, very narrow nut, and so what I'm going to do is use this as a starter, cut that off and use that as a finish, so we can go all the way in. So you're ready there. Probably not going to need that right now, and so we'll try and keep this a little bit clear. So I just want a short thread about that long, and we're going to need that right back, because I'm just going to mark it. There's no particular measurement there. And now we need to use the telescopic die holder. So that's the idea. We want it in there. When you're making it, you need to make sure that that bit isn't going to collide with the bar. Otherwise, you're going to have some troubles, and you don't want that. So let's get that out the way. And I've snugged in my M61. It's nice, almost flush with the surface, and it's a good fit. So I'm happy with that. Next up, we're just going to get our tailstock in, just to a little bit off. As you can see, I mean, there's a gap there. It's already found itself a home. At this point, it's a very good idea, hit your E switch. So, you know, you're so used to just, okay, let's switch it on. Let's move it forward. You don't want that to happen this stage of the process. So we're just winding up the tailstock a little bit. And this is quite light, so I can get it going just by hand. And then I'm going to tighten a little bit. And as a beginner, which I am, I don't really want to start drilling them on and everything. How are we doing here? Oh, there it goes. So let's pop a bit of that on. Some love juice. And so just like that, you're going to get a very, very snug fit. I don't want to jack it up more because it's kind of found its way. I don't really need a handle for something this small, but I'm going to try it. And I am in fact going to get it up a little more. And now I'm going to reverse it out, because it's definitely found its way. And as you can see, we did not really, you know, I want to go out. What I can do is put a handle in. Now, that's actually turning in the chuck. I didn't tighten the chuck enough. There we go. Are we at the mark yet? No, we're not. So there's a very good reason why I'm making this. And that reason is my current die holder, it's got this back plate on, so it's just going to collide. And I cannot get this 100% square. And there's nothing worse than doing your workpiece. The last thing you're doing is your threads. And what happens next, we all know, you go skew. And that's the end of that. I'm just going to turn off this compressor. So we now have sufficient play here. We can come back and have a look, see what is our thread like. It's very little. I like that. So I'm going to go in a little bit more and just blow it out. And then once this is done, let's go back to using that handle. See, that's why we need a nut on the other side of it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep dropping out and you'll end up not using it. So let's do this. We operate the chuck instead. Now you can see why we don't have the, or we have the e-stop off. And that's it. Excuse me. So let's give it a blow. And that is pretty much enough for me to make a nice knurled nut. Get it on the other side of that. And it's not going to drop out or anything. It's just going to stay there. And pop it on and cut threads. I mean, is that simple? Very simple design. I am going to just sort of hold it out a bit so you can kind of get a look. We've got our thumb screw here to hold the die in. We've got a marker. We've got a nice flush fit on the inside with the boring bar. And a bit of a rough cut here. And then, because this is the first time I had my compound at, I was making driver pins, so it was 90 degrees. Found that tremendously useful for this. And that is the end of that. Well, it's not the end because I still have to make the nut. But there is our telescoping boring bar die holder. What you can do, if you really want to, and I did do it a little bit earlier, I was doing a longer thread, is then just get your RPMs off, go forward, slowly wind it on and off. But you got to watch for it and just hold it here. Worst comes to the worst, you can just let go. A little bit risky. I don't like it. Still a beginner. Still have my spring on my chuck key. So, yeah, that is it. Guys, I hope this video helps. I know that thanks to Blondie Hacks, this has been a great idea. It's nothing too complicated. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. And if this video helped, please like and subscribe.